Hello, dear hearts. Thank you so much for tuning in to my Enlightened Masters and Lineages astrological talks focusing on Longchenpa. Longchenpa, a great master that no words that I can place now can describe what he has brought upon us, upon earth and all beings. So I would like to go straight into his astrological star map upon his birth, and talk to you about everything that has come through, looking at this great alignment of where the planets were when he was born. And the benefit of being in touch with this information is, of course, feeling connected to him in a personal way, because our star charts, our star maps are a very personal way, an intimate way of uniting. And I think it can also work with our levels of interest, devotion, and wish to, become like, and if not that, be able to know, to truly know such beings. So he had come with so many elements. We call it a stellium of concentrated energy in water, in the element water. And when we look at water as an element flowing so strongly through a star map, we can understand that there is a receptivity beyond time and space. We can also understand that the intuitive component and receptive component to being able to not only sit into what we see as a life's map, direction, journey, but also be able to flow beyond those boundaries of what one life can do and give. Water as an element here in this particular star map doesn't in any way stop the grandness of what needs to happen, and it also doesn't give up on circumstances as hard and emotionally challenging the waves would have been during Longchenpa's time. There was a capacity to know about just how important the happenings, each and every one of them, were. When we're looking at the messages of these water placements, predominantly in Pisces, second to that Scorpio, and a drop of Cancer, again all water signs. We're looking at, of course, the altruistic pursuits, the capacity to be of service to the whole, to have an unconditional, deeply seated and rooted degree of true compassion there, because, of course, Piscean energy, when exalted, when mastered, it is of the most compassionate and boundless form of care, concern, and capacity to give, truly give, without any expectation, need, or want. Scorpio there, with 3 points, very strong here in the star map. Also, implies, on a worldly stage here where Scorpio is placed, the secrecy around what such a master would have had to, ensure of was massive. And, Scorpio rules secrecy, privacy, mystery, the obscure, what hides, what isn't allowed to be seen, and also is a very private and selective dimension. On a worldly stage, this is exactly that. I mean, that's where Longchenpa was sitting. So what was taking place, even though there was an awareness of his activities, was actually at the time of it happening extremely private. And the planets that are holding Scorpio at the time of his birth talk about very quick paths to awakening. You have Uranus conjunct Neptune there, but also with Saturn activating both of these areas, you couldn't escape once you had committed to these certain paths of awakening. And it was probably not easy for an average person to get to know or connect with such a master during the time of him actually being physically present on this earth, because there would have been so many tricks to see the capacity, to see the capabilities of those who were really eager and enthusiastic to be of his kind. Now, in saying this though, he was very responsible, and we can see this with Chiron in Cancer in the 6th house, being also, pained by ordinary burdens of family, having had, from what I know, this is just from what I have learned myself, having had lost his parents at a very young age, but how this communicates in his astrological star map is that, Chiron in Cancer there, is an obvious indication of being pained by family matters, by the mundane plane of family, having suffered in that area. However, through that wound, being able to be a true family to so many, being a true parent to so many. And that's what Chiron, the wounded healer in astrology, does. And being very responsible, so to speak, from a very, very young age. The 6th house is all about responsibilities and our duties and tasks. And, he set out to be sure of his responsibilities from a very, very young age. When we are looking at what came into this lifetime from the past, it's actually incredible, because whether he agreed to it or not, there were so many ascended masters, mastery there within him. He carried it as he came through and was born into the incarnation, which was Longchenpa. He had a storehouse of mastery within his being, and brought into that plane many, many, many great masters of the past. And whatever one would ask him, answers would be available, even without our general interpretation of communication. They would just be, you would be able to receive those answers. I think communication didn't have a limit. His mastery of communication was beyond the linear way that we relate to speech and any form of body language or expression. In fact, speech probably didn't even happen when this complete mastery of communication was expressed through what Longchenpa was. And being, again, water-born with all this water in his star map, overflowing over every other element, it indicates true links that work through the memory in individual being, and don't let you really voice it through any degree of thought. Instead, having an understanding just there happening without you needing to look at it in analysis or again the typical forms of speech and general communication. So this kind of memory mastery activation is available through Longchenpa's mastery in anything and everything. I mean, he could communicate with the kaki fruit, the lotus fruit. I mean, I'm sure he could communicate with wood. He could communicate with the clouds. He could communicate with the draft that might feel quite uncomfortable for others, but for him would have been just more of this clarity. And in this overall, expectation is the right word, that was coming at a certain stage of his own life, particularly after the midlife point. And the midlife point is deciphered by death. So if you are expected to die, the stars kind of determine a certain approximate death age. If you have that, it's the midlife point. So after that midlife point for Longchenpa, there was an expectation that was always overlooked, I think, by scholars and historians and anyone who was interested in somehow capturing the overall lives and works of this incredible master. That expectation based on his star map is that, everyone wanted him to, I guess, live very long, and they also wanted there to be a traceable link to all the other bits and pieces of what he was trying to do. But it wasn't exactly possible for it to go in that direction because, as I had said earlier on, the secrecy involved in this, what we have found out about, what we have connected with, what we have received, what we can access now or hear about, it's a tiny spot or speck of what Longchenpa did. And his stars prove that. And in terms of lifespan too, there was a reason for him not living as long as, everybody had expected. And this has also something to do with his maternal lineage based on his stars. Now, I'm not a Longchenpa scholar. I have no idea about the history of his maternal lineage, but based on his stars, it was due to that maternal lineage. And I guess that itself, had already declared some kind of intricate detail to the timing of his departure. So his relationship to parting was very much about his personality and what he was all about anyway. In fact, it was probably one of the highest peaks of the whole experience of what Longchenpa's time with us was. So if anyone knows any specifics regarding that particular parting point, I think it would be such a fascinating world to receive and witness and understand, because it has many, many truths and probably inexpressible happenings. So if we talk about the activities, it was very much in the local community environment. It was also physically important for him to be in many places, and he wasn't fearful of that. In fact, there was a determination and a speed and a swiftness involved in his activities, and everything again was linked to this mastery of communication. So I, as you all know, I could indeed express regarding such supreme things, but I would like to keep this concise so that you can receive the key points. And it's an honor, and I'm very humbled by even the thought of being able to do something like this. So I'm very grateful for it being possible, and I aspire that it, I guess, brings him to you. Thank you so much.